Don't mind the mess. Gonna be a quick stream because I gotta finish this off. You're about to start. Three, two, one. What is going on, everybody? It's your man Chris Azir here, back with another video. Today's video is going to be about Sagittarius season. This is going to be for the final 4 zodiac signs. It's going to be for Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. If you want to see the videos I did earlier on this subject and topic, you can go watch my live videos from yesterday. Now, how is this going to be? When it comes to Sagittarius, I'm going to do a quick recap yet again. Sagittarius is the sign that points to gurus, mentors, teachers, explorers, giant, grand, blessing, fortunate people. It is the fire sign that points to God the Father, God the Merciful. This is what it points to. It points to God and how He provides blessings to His people and what you're going to need to live a happy and successful life. Now, what does this mean? I'm going to be talking about November 22nd, which is going to be the start of Sagittarius season. And I'm going to be talking about what's going to happen in the beginning, during the middle of the season, and at the end of the season, right before Capricorn season starts. So let's get right into it. Sagittarius. Happy birthday to all my Sagittarius people coming up, right? Your first house is going to have the Sun, Venus, and Mercury. The Sun in the first house, that means you're going to be actively traveling, actively learning at a broad rate. You're going to be teaching, you're going to be guruing, you're going to be more into your philosophy, more into your understanding of the way of life and how to teach it to others besides yourself. You may be driving more often at the beginning of the month. And with Venus there in the first being the self, you're going to be self-happiness. You're going to find a way to laugh more often. You're going to be educating yourself more. With Venus there, you're going to be educating yourself more on how to provide, acting more on income, acting more on planting crops. If you can plant crops in whatever part of the world you're living in, you're going to be acting more on beautifying yourself. You're going to be acting more on bringing balance and harmony, self-balance, self-harmony. You're going to be also more communicative. You're going to be speaking more, thinking more. With Mercury there as well, you're going to be working more, working on yourself. You're going to be practicing more. You could be more communicative this entire month, or not this entire month, during the beginning half of this month. Pluto in your second points to you obsessing over money, obsessing over what you value, and obsessing over your investments. You could be transforming. You can be transforming somebody's experience. You can be empowering somebody through determination coming up this month. with Saturn in the third, Saturn in your third house of Aquarius, you are serious about your knowledge. You're serious about communicating your knowledge. You are serious about communicating what humanity needs to do. You are serious, or if you're not serious, you are constructing a knowledge base for your brothers, your sisters, your cousins, your neighbors. You are communicating about profound ideas, your hopes, your wishes, that you are building with the foundations of your words. When it comes to your fourth house, you have Neptune and Jupiter there. So in your fourth house, that means that your home, right now in your home, you are trying to when it comes to your basement, if you have a basement, you're going to try to expand your basement. It points to the expansive basement, happiness in the basement, happiness from a quiet basement at your home during this period of time, during the beginning of the month. It points to a massive belief in your home. Pisces naturally rules your fourth house, Sagittarius. It points to happiness. It could point to happiness in your belief system at home, but also points to it could potentially be challenges with Jupiter there as well, because Jupiter naturally squares um, Neptune. But it points to your beliefs and things having to do with your home life, your mother situation, the mother of your children, things of that situation, being more into their beliefs during this period of time. Chiron in your fifth house means that you are making up for some actions. You are making up for being impulsive. There's nothing you can do about impulsivity from a child, or you are making up for what a child has done to you done during this period of time in his impulsiveness, in her impulsiveness, as fifth house points to children, or points to yourself and your ego and your personality and how you express it. When it comes to your sixth house, Sagittarius, it points to your work. And you naturally have Taurus in your sixth house, Sagittarius. That means you value your work, you value practice, you invest in your work. And with Uranus there, it can mean you have an explosion of work. That means you can see crisis when it comes to your work. It can mean you have a large knowledge base, or you work like a scientist. You observe the situation, and then you go about acting upon it in a very scientific manner when it comes to your work and what you value. And with your North Node, with the North Node currently being in your house of work, you're doing more work, you're being more active, you are practicing more at things you're doing during this period of time. In your seventh house of Gemini, you have Mars. Mars in Gemini points to your marriage partner, a partner that you have, a relationship of partnership with a Gemini. In your writing, you may have a Gemini in your life, or you may be writing more, actively writing more. And again, with Saturn in your third house, points to you seriously having to deal with um actions. Serious actions are being taken in writing, in communication, in foundational knowledge during this beginning period of time, going to be throughout the entirety of this month. In your eighth house is in opposition to your second house, which I already spoke about, being Pluto. In your ninth house of Leo is going to be in opposition to Saturn, which I talked about in your third house. So talking about your eighth house of Cancer being empty, empty in opposition to Pluto, that points to you being again obsessive over what you value and in the value system you have during your home and your family, and in opposition with Saturn in opposition to Leo in your ninth house. That's an eighth house placement. That means you're going to learn how to value God more throughout life, value your children more throughout life. When it comes to your 10th house, is going to be Virgo. During that period of time, you could have Virgo crossing the MC, and if it's in the MC, that means you are currently again mastering your work, Sagittarius. Your 11th house of Libra is opposite Chiron. Chiron opposite Libra points to you having this ability to 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 um balance and harmonize with your friends, but you may not be able to do something about a child's impulsiveness. And when it comes to or comes to your own impulsiveness or your own fast, quick actions that you have to make up for, when it comes to your 12th house has the moon in it. The moon in the 12th house of Scorpio. The moon likes being in Scorpio because that is a trine position. The moon in your 12th house refers to your family. Your family during this period of time can be your undoing, but it also points to you coercing your family through your belief system to do what you want them to do during this period of time. It also points to you empowering your family, recharging your family through your belief system, because Pluto is power. It is recharging. It is regeneration, charging in general, decharge, charging your family through your belief system, through your spirituality during this period of time. Now, to go to the middle of the month for you, during a little bit over the middle of the month, about 18 degrees in, around December 10th, Venus and Neptune will move into your second, Venus and Mercury, correction, will be moving into your second house. Venus being in your second house, Venus is at home in the second house. Therefore, Venus at home in Capricorn points to you being a boss, making money as a boss. You could be a landlord. If you are a landlord, you can make money from a landlord. Make money. You can be bargaining. You can be bargaining as a landlord. You can bargain with somebody during this period of time, and you can be very convincing in your bargaining because you have Pluto there as well. And it also points to Mercury during there. You can also be working towards Mercury in Capricorn. Mercury natural 8th house is Capricorn. So you have Pluto, the sign ruler, the planet ruler of the 8th house, and you have a planet in its 8th house sign that is double energy of convincing energy. You are, when it comes to what you value, you're going to be convincing people during the middle of the month to trade, to do money, to provide for you, to provide as a landlord, and you're going to be seriously bargaining with people and convincing what you need them to do during this period of time. And this could be to a brother, a sister, a cousin, a neighbor during this period. And Mercury also points to a little girl in Vedic astrology, if it points to that as well. It potentially could point to a daughter, but in Vedic, it points to a little girl. And everything else should be the same, except the moon will now be in Cancer. Moon being in Cancer on your 8th, it points to the same thing. This is another 8th house placement. So during this period of time, you are going to have the moon on December 10th going to be in Cancer. That points to you convincing your family. That points, and Cancer is the natural ruler of your 8th house. The moon ruler in the 8th house. This points to life, empowering, in charging your family by getting them to understand values, understanding the values of your family, getting your family to bargain, to provide more during this period of time, empowering your family to provide or maybe the reverse, your family is getting you to provide more, getting you to trading, bargaining with you during this period in time to empower you to take care of a loss or a passing during this period of time of a close family friend or neighbor, of things of that nature as well. And now going towards the end of the month, at 29 degrees, December 21st, the moon will be in Sagittarius for you. The moon will be in Sagittarius and all other signs will remain the same. Therefore, moon in Sagittarius now means the moon is going to be in your first house. The moon is the natural ruler of your 8th house. So you're going to be a very, very powerful, you're going to be very empowered during this period of time. You're going to be very empowered. Is going to be in opposition day is going to make no opposition, but it's going to make a square. It is going to make a square to Jupiter. So you may have troubles feeling empowered because of something large coming your way. You maybe have trouble being empowered. No, because of Neptune. Sorry. Oh yes, Jupiter by December 21st for you. So you will have Jupiter now re-entering Aries for you December 21st, and you will have the moon in Sagittarius. So you're going to have the moon trine Jupiter. Moon trine Jupiter is going to be, you're going to be emotionally empowered during this period of time. You're going to have or feel massively recharged during this period of time, Sagittarius. Massively recharged. When it comes to your moon being in square, your moon will be in square to Neptune, which means you may have difficulties with your beliefs during this period of time, emotionally have difficulties with your beliefs, or your family may have difficulty with your beliefs and how you believe things should go, because you have been trying to convince them during this month to be more empowered, or to bargain more, or to provide more. Or again, the opposite applies to you as well. When it comes to moon in opposition to Mars, that points to you not being quick. Your emotional state will be tempered by active communication, or it points to you having, or your family getting into heated arguments, or getting into debative discussion during this period of time. Now we're going to go to Capricorn. So I'm going to put Sagittarius ends 17/20. Okay, now to do Capricorn. That 1 hour. Okay. Okay, Capricorn. Capricorn. Pluto is in your first house during the beginning of the month. Pluto in your first house points to you being actively convincing during this period of time. You're going to be more convincing. You're going to be more empowered, acting on your power, seriously acting on your power during this period of time. And you have been acting on your power seriously for the past couple of years, because Pluto is currently in your home sign. You have been taking life serious during this period of time, Capricorn, with Aquarius being in your second house, and having Saturn in Aquarius. This is serious about knowledge, serious about how you value knowledge, serious about your values, serious about your morality system, constructing your morality system. It could also point to you having difficulties with money during this period of time. It points to delays to getting money during this period of time, especially online. But it also points to you constructing your value system through experience that leads to knowledge. Or a restriction from your friends because of values or monetary gain during this period of time. In your third house, you're going to have Jupiter and Neptune during the beginning of this month. That means you are actively communicating you are actively thinking and communicating on your most grandest of ideas, or you're doing or communicating, talking to finding happiness with your brothers, your sisters, your cousins, your neighbors, in your spirituality, whether you're a believer, you do religion, you do yoga, you do meditation. whatever the case may be. Tarot, you are actively communicating, talking about, thinking about, going online on the phone, and and expanding your vision to the wildest and largest points it can be. Chiron in your fourth means you have been, that points to your family being impulsive and there's nothing you can do about it, or anger in the family, you being angry towards your family and you have to make up for anger, impulsivity, or fighting in the family. Or it comes to family did something to you that you have to now make up for, that you could not control, that happened and in the family. When it comes to your fifth house, you have the North Node and Uranus there in your fifth house of Taurus. So you naturally value your children, you value and you invest in your children, or you value and invest in your ego and things of that nature. So points to Uranus points to weird and unusual. This points to during this period of time you've been uniquely expressing your values, uniquely expressing your ego during this period of time. And with North Node there as well, has been, you have been actively collecting money or trying to face crisis right now when it comes to your money that has been affecting you on a core level, personality wise, and things of that nature. And with the opposition to the moon during the beginning of this month and to your North Node, which means moon conjunct South Node during this period of time, you're going to have a lot of um emotional uh uplifting emotional events happening to you, maybe more crying, maybe more emotional release because of past habits, or habits having to do with Scorpio being emotions coming up over past times of being jealous, possessive during those periods of times, coercive in a way you probably shouldn't have been, and having to deal with that. When it comes to Neptune, not Neptune, when it comes to your sixth house of Gemini, you have Mars there. That means you are actively working during this period of time, working, impulsively working, quick to work, always quick to study, actively trying to perfect your craft, perfect your writing, perfect your work, perfect your communication skills, perfect all of those things, Capricorn, during this period of time. In your seventh house, you have Cancer, which is going to be in opposition to Pluto. Which means Pluto in opposition to Cancer means that you can have a relationship with your family and you can be possessive over your family. You can empower your family. Your family can empower you during this period of time as well. Your eighth house is Leo, is going to be in opposition to Saturn, so that points to um, also possessive or obsessive over your heart, your values, the core of who you are, and the difficulties you are facing right now to uniquely express yourself. When it comes to your ninth house of Virgo, it is in opposition to Neptune and Jupiter with ninth house of Virgo. That means you are in opposition to your work or your belief systems. You are happy with your work, but it is being challenged by the way you think about your beliefs and communicate your beliefs on a grand scale. With your 10th house being Libra, it is in opposition to Chiron, which means you work every day in your career. You are known as a person who wants harmony and balance and who may work in the government. But it also points to you not being able to, or having to make up for something that happens in the family because of aggression, impulsive behavior, and things like that during this period of time as well. Moon in the 12th already, Moon in your 11th points to you being, couldn't be possessive over your family, or points to be also detachment towards the family, or knowledge about the family, knowledge of your emotions and how to recharge yourself emotionally during this period of time as well. With opposition to Uranus, that can mean it could point to an emotional implosion during this period of time in regards to things regarding money or things of the sort. And when it comes to your 12th house, you have the Sun, Venus, and Mercury there. The Sun in your 12th house means you are actively being more reserved during this period of time. You are actively being more reserved. You are expressing your personality in private, and you are happy when you're in private. You philosophize, you think about your philosophy and how you go about life in your head, in your private areas during this period of time. During this time, you're also reading in private. You will open up more books and read in private because of Mercury there and Venus there as well. Might be you may be bargaining, you may be counting money, you may have money hidden in your room during this period of time as well. You may be trying to beautify your room during this period of time, or your private areas where you collect yourself on a massive scale during this period of time. Okay, now for the middle of the month. During the middle of the month, you will now have Venus and Mercury in Capricorn. Venus and Mercury now being in Capricorn. Point two, now you are actively gunning for Venus likes being in Capricorn because they're in a trine position. This points to you actively going out to get money, Capricorn, during this period of time. This is you actively bargaining. This is actively you you eating, planting food, going out in nature during this period of time. Depending on where you live, it may be cold and you may not be doing that. You're going to be actively speaking, actively communicating on what is right during this period of time. I'm seriously communicating, serious about your money. Venus actively communicating, serious about your communication in your writing. You may be getting to um serious discussions that may get heated during this period of time as well. And your moon will be in Cancer, your seventh house. The moon is the natural ruler of your seventh house, so that means you may run into a situation with the mother of your child. You may be in a situation with if not the mother of your child, you may run into partnerships with your family, going to a party, an event, or celebration of a family member, of a woman in your life, a family member, a woman in your life, a Cancer rising or Cancer sun sign, sense, things of that nature as well. Near the end of the month, Jupiter will have entered into Aries. Jupiter entering into Aries signifies and points to actively traveling, actively learning, actively expanding at a broader rate. With that being said, now with Jupiter being in your fourth Capricorn, hold up, let me line this up correctly. Actively with Jupiter being in your fourth, during this period of time, or Jupiter being in the ruling sign of your fourth during this period of time, points to you, Capricorn. Having more happy experiences with your family, or it could point to you traveling with your family during this period, actively traveling with family, actively traveling with a woman in your life, actively traveling with the mother of your child during this period of time as well. You could be learning at a broad rate about family. You could be seeing a vast expanse, giant laughter in the family during the final day of Capricorn season, final day of Sagittarius season, Capricorns. And that was it. Capricorn. Capricorns. Ends 30. Let's see something. Let me try something. Can y'all see me? No? I need a second source of light. Let's see. Okay. Capricorns. Now, let me try something again. Oh, I can't do that now. Okay. Capricorns. Testing 1, 2, 3, making sure you can see me. Okay. Now, with that being said, we did Capricorns, going back a day now, going back. Okay. 0 degrees. Now, when it comes to Aquarius, aha, Aquarius, you have Saturn in your first, and you're going to have Saturn in your first this month. Aquarius is during this period of time you've had Saturn. This is point two for Aquarians. During this period of time, you've been taking life serious. You've been running into difficulties, delays. You have been during this period of time, Sagittarians, not Sagittarians, Aquarians. You have been running into delays, pain. You have been constructing your life right now. You may feel like life has been destroying or been or feeling a sense of destruction around you during this period of time as well, especially when it comes to your career situation. It could be there, or if not your career, be at your home life. You can feel like things are just imploding around you at your home life with Uranus in the fourth. Aquarians right now when it comes to your home life, because of money, situations with values, your value system at home, things of that nature as well. It can feel like life has just been hard for you these past couple of years. Aquarians, but you have Saturn in your first house. What it also points to you being actively serious as well. Your second house, you have Neptune and Jupiter currently in your second house. You value your belief systems. You value your spirituality, Aquarius. Since you value your spirituality, Neptune is currently still in your second house, which means you value your beliefs, your spirituality, things of that nature. With Jupiter now being there as well during its retrograde, with Jupiter being there, that points to fortune, happiness, in regards to your value system, into regards to your beliefs. You may have probably made some money during this period of time, or you could make some money across this first half of the month selling oils, candles, meditation, yoga, getting collections, poverty. If you're going through a hard time right now and you are having a hard time financially, you may find people during this month being generous to you, providing you with a little bit extra income during this month and period of time, out of nowhere, as an act of kindness or charity and things of that nature as well. When it comes to Chiron in your third, when it comes to your brothers, your sisters, your neighbors, your cousins, you have been either throughout this past year or so, and it still applies to this month, you have been, how could I say, in situations that you could not control or could not account for, that ended up being anger, impulsive, led to fights. You did something too fast and you made a mistake on it, or somebody did something to you out of anger, impulsivity, that now you have to make up for during this period of time. Probably it was a heated argument. It was an argument. You probably burnt your arms, something having to do with inflammation in the lungs because of a disease in the air that you could not account for, things of those natures as well. When it comes to your fourth house, Aquarians, when it comes to your fourth house, Aquarians, your fourth house indicates and shows and gives indication to, again, Taurus, which is your value systems, how you spend your money, investing, bargaining. With Uranus there, square Saturn, that points to a crisis at home. You feel like things are imploding at home because of money, because of land, because of value systems, because you're unique, or you're currently rebelling against your family because of your value system, or your family is now rebelling against you because of money or values or moral systems as well. You can see that happening across your home life and things like that. It also points to um, you actively having a hard time being serious or challenging things going on because of your monetary situation at home right now, um, Aquarians. And your fifth house was having Mars in it at this moment in time. So with your fifth house being Mars in your fifth house points to right now you love to argue. You are active during this period of time. You love yourself during this period of time. This is a period of time for these past couple of months with Mars in Gemini. You are acting on self-love. You are loving to your only child. If you have an only child right now, you're speaking a lot, communicating a lot to your only child in this situation or period of time right now. And you may be actively teaching your child, your only child, or your first child during this period of time if you have children as well. But a lot of self-love, communicating yourself. You may feel like during this period of time you may be the only person who really loves yourself as well, or values yourself, when it comes to having right now Mercury in Sagittarius in opposition. But I'll get to that. In your sixth house you have Cancer. It has an opposition to Pluto in the 12th. That points to you having a relationship right now, a partnership with your power and empowerment towards your belief system and your family. Your seventh house is Leo, that has an opposition to Saturn in your first. That points when it comes to your relationship to love or self-love, relationship to your partner. You can be having a difficult time with them because of how serious you are taking yourself right now, or how serious they are taking you right now, or cold they're being to you right now. Your eighth house is in opposition to your eighth house of Virgo, has an opposition to Neptune and Jupiter in Pisces. That points to when it comes to you perfecting, empowering yourself to perfect your work. You can have a relationship, or you may have tension because of your values and um how happy or expansive or lucky your value system is going right now, which may stop you from really taking full control and fully recharging yourself when it comes to your work. Your ninth house of Sagittarius has Libra there. With the ninth house of Sagittarius and it has Libra there, it points to it's in opposition to Chiron in the third, which means when it comes to you being happy, happiness from marriage, happiness from balance and harmony, beauty. You may be happy when it comes to travel, partying, happiness from nature. That may be you may have tension there because of the way you communicated, or you may have happiness teaching people or communicating about balance. You may have trouble there because of Chiron in the third, because of um, a communication, a mistake or a fault in communication you may have had earlier during this year or period of time that is affecting you during the beginning of this month. When it comes to the moon in your 10th of Virgo, moon in the 10th of Virgo, that means Moon likes being in Virgo, and that means when it comes to your career, you are known for being an empowering person, a very convincing person, Aquarius, a very transformative person, and you may be going through emotional transformation right now. You may be going through serious emotional empowerment of your family, serious empowerment or transformation of your family during this period of time. And with um, the sun in your 11th, this points to you um, finding happiness through your friends, with the sun being in Sagittarius, that points to you finding happiness in your friends. And it comes to you spending money on your friends during this period of time, spending money on your friends, spending money on travel with your friends during this period of time. It also points to you communicating with your friends as if they are brothers, sisters, brethren to you during this period of time. Communication, your brothers, your sisters, your cousins, your neighbors may be the friends you communicate with on your philosophy, or you travel with, or find happiness towards during this period of time as well. I've already spoken about Pluto here, so now to move to the middle of the month, do this. Do this. You will now have Venus and Mercury being in your 12th house of Capricorn. With Venus and Mercury now being in your 12th house of Capricorn, that points to you, Aquarius, now having one second, making sure something okay. Now that makes sure now having you now when it comes to your belief system. They say Mercury is at fall in Pisces, but that does not necessarily have to be the case. They could point to you during this period of time now communicating your beliefs, writing down music. This could be a great time for music, freestyling off the top of your head. Being able to communicate your vision during this period of time may be great for you, Aquarius. And it also points to, with Venus there as well, turning to you being able to um, bargain with your beliefs. You may be able to monetize something in regards to spirituality. You may be able to seriously make a career out of, or you may seriously make a career out of bargaining your beliefs during this period of time. During this period of time, yes. Yes. Now to go, and with Cancer now being in your 6th house, Cancer, the moon in being in Cancer in your 6th house, that points to you during this period of time actively working on your emotions, actively working with family, actively trying to perfect your familiar situation during this period of time, and having an emotional bond to, or around your family, or being very protective of your family during this period of time. And on the 21st, you will now have the moon in Sagittarius, and you will have Jupiter in Aries. Jupiter being in your second, third house. Jupiter being in your 3rd house now points to you now actively communicating. You are at a broader rate. You are happily communicating your ideas. You have expansive thoughts. You are thinking at such a large rate, communicating at such a large rate. You're going to be finding happiness in communications, happiness in traveling with your brothers, your sisters, your neighbors, your cousins, and things of that nature. If you do get into a verbal discussion or verbal debate, you will find yourself winning over this period of time, and this will be for the rest of the time that Jupiter will be in Aries before it makes a conjunction to Chiron. And with the moon in Sagittarius for you, the moon being in Sagittarius, your 11th house, The moon in Sagittarius is a sixth house, eighth house axis. From the moon to Sagittarius, that is a sixth house axis. And from Sagittarius to the moon is an eighth house axis. That's a sixth, eighth house common affinity axis. And since the moon is in the 11th house, from the moon to Aquarius, the ruler of the 11th house, that is an eighth house. That is another eighth house sign. So I'm getting two indications for eighth house placement, eighth and sixth house. So this points to you being a period of time with the moon that you may be obsessive over your emotions. You may be obsessive over your expanding your emotional range too much, or excessive emotions in general. And it also does point to, during this period of time, being emotional around your friends, or detaching from your friends, or being too emotional around your friends because you're getting an overwhelming sense of happiness, or you just might be overwhelmed emotionally around your friends during this period of time. So you must practice and work on perfecting your emotional range during this period of time as well. All right, that was Aquarius. Sorry for the dark screen, I am still here. Aquarius, Aquarius, Aquarius. And 46. All right, finally, now on to Pisces. Now on to Pisces. And this was the shortest one. I'm getting very good at doing this efficiently at a fast rate or period of time. Determination is key. You'll get there one day. Now, Pisces. Let me go back to Pisces. I may end up making a new YouTube channel, so be aware of that. It may come in the next couple of months, because I need to it may not be soon. It may not be soon, but over these next few months, I do plan to get good bare minimum with OBS, get good with OBS, or at bare minimum update my processing unit so I can run video editors more effectively on my computer and learn basic OBS skills, learn basic copywriting, music, learn how to make a basic beat to make the presentation of my live streams more, applicable, the presentation of my YouTube channel more applicable for my astrology, to get my readings across. But all that in due time, and everything takes time. You have to believe you'll get there, which is also Pisces. I'm gonna go days. 21, 22 hours. Okay. Pisces, you have Jupiter and Neptune in your first house. Jupiter, Neptune. Neptune likes being in your first house, and for these past couple of years, you have had Neptune in your first house. So you've been actively on your beliefs. You've been actively on your beliefs, your spirituality, your tarot cards, your meditation, your healing. If you are a doctor, you've been on your doctorate and things like that. Jupiter being there as well can be a benefit, but it can also be a deterrence, because Jupiter is a natural square position to Neptune. So this can mean an abundance of belief. This can mean success through faith right now. So your faith right now can bring you abundance during this period of time, but it can also point to excessive use of drugs, because Neptune is drugs. It points all drugs. It points to medicinal drugs, legal drugs, doctor oriented or regulated drugs, and it also points to illegal drugs as well. So depending on where it is for you, for example, the first house, fourth house, seventh house, and the 10th house is the cardinal axis square. For you, Neptune, for you, Pisces, Neptune is your first house. Neptune is your first house. So the mutable signs, sit in your cardinal axis square by house system. So any planets that you have in the 10th house, the 7th house, or 4th house, because of Jupiter being there, will be negatively affected. Be negatively affected. So we'll get to that later. So, but I already told you this can mean an excessive use of drugs during this period of time. That can be lead to bad results, or can mean massive healing, um, happiness through faith, massive faith, the spreading of your faith and belief system for this short period of time as well. Chiron in your second house. Chiron in your second house points to when it comes to your value system right now, Pisces, there's something you cannot do anything about your value system. That points to um, wounds in regards to your values or your investments. That means you probably possibly burned investments during this period of time. You've burnt money during this period of time, as if you blew it all on things you shouldn't have during this period of time. The time Chiron is currently going through Aries, it points to you and you actively trading, you doing trade or commerce too fast. You probably lost out on something because of your quickness and your ability to move too quickly in regards to things that you should be doing during this period of time as well. Or you are now making up for investments, food, things of that nature. Your third house of Taurus, you have Uranus and the North Node there. With Uranus, Uranus is in a natural square position in Taurus, but Uranus loves to be in trine. Uranus loves to be in the third house because Uranus is in a natural trine position to Mercury or Gemini in the third house. So, with that being said, you could have, when it comes to your communication, you may have unique thoughts, unique or profound or very scientific view right now when it comes to your thoughts and the way you think, your mind, and the way you speak into this world right now, about when it comes to speaking about your values, your morality system, things of that nature. And it may feel like your value system, you may be in shock during this period of time, or for these past couple of years, as Uranus has been in Taurus, you may have been in shock of how your value system has been changing, or the way you speak about your value system and your morality, or in shock about how you can come to mind about money and how it can appear to you all of the sudden like you couldn't do that before during this period of time. With Mars in your fourth, as Mars currently in Gemini, Mars in Gemini right now, being in square to Neptune as of the beginning, as of in the beginning of Sagittarius season, 0 degrees, November 22nd, it will be in a square off 1 degree Neptune and in a square 7 degrees to Jupiter. That will point to, in your home life, in your family life, to any of the Geminis in your life, Pisces. They're going to be more impulsive. They're going to be angry. A fight may break out. They're going to be quick to do something you may not like. In disagreement when it comes to the way that they speak to you, very harsh, far as aggressive speaking. They may be using their arms. They may be fighting, throwing fists with their arms. Heavy breathing, heavy inflammation of the lungs of a family member at home, or when it comes to your home life, or your family may be more argumentative towards your beliefs during the beginning of the month during this period of time. The fifth house of Cancer seems to be fine, but is in an opposition to Pluto. I'll come back and talk about that later. Your sixth house of Leo seems to be fine, but it is in opposition to Saturn. I will come back to that later. Your seventh house has an opposition to Jupiter and Neptune in your first, but I've already spoken about Jupiter and Neptune in the first. So when it comes to Virgo, that also points to you having troubles with your partner. Your partner could be on your side, or you may find troubles with your partner because of your increased belief during this period of time. When it comes to your eighth house of Libra, it is in opposition to Chiron. So because it is in opposition to Chiron, that points to you are trying to, you are obsessing over, or you are trying to live life in a very balanced and harmonized way. And because of your value systems and things you have to make up for in your life, because you may have burnt through certain things, burnt through some money, or burnt through some food, burned some bridges with some business partners, you're going to now have to move around that. And it comes to your ninth house, Pisces. Ninth house, you have the moon in it. The moon in your ninth house of Scorpio points to you, Pisces, um, finding happiness in your emotional state during this period of time, expanding learning at a broader rate towards your family. So even though your family during this period of time could be more impulsive because you have Gemini in the fourth in a square to your first. When it comes to your ninth house, that right there points to you still being able to find happiness, still being able to teach your family, but you must be coercive. You must be able to lead the conversation, be convincing in what you believe in and what you're teaching. And you must be able to recharge, or this points to you be needing to emotionally recharge um frequently, emotionally recharge frequently during this period of time, because your ninth house is in a trine position to Jupiter in your first during the beginning of Sagittarius season. When it comes to um your 10th house, and it is in opposition to Uranus. So your beliefs in the profound way you're speaking may um be what you need, your profound way of thinking, and your sudden um thoughts manifesting into money or business opportunities or travel situation or parties may be what you need to teach your family to empower them or recharge them after this heated period of time they will be going through. In your 10th house, your house of career, which is Sagittarius, you have the sun in your 10th house, Venus and Mercury. The sun in your 10th house means right now this is a period for you to be known or recognized as a teacher. In your career as an educator, your career as a you can be a bus driver, taxi cab specialist, and it comes to um as a person who works on large structures, any form of teaching and education. I have already said it points to you may be somebody who works with the skin, somebody who understands the skin, or somebody who just is known as a blessed and lucky person when it comes to that field or career or things of that nature, or of event. This points to you now, you having a natural need to go towards that during this period of time. You may be obsessive towards it during this period of time. Venus being in Sagittarius, Venus is in a sixth house to eighth house. From Venus, ruler of Taurus, to Sagittarius, that can be an eighth house placement. And from Venus, ruler of Libra, to Sagittarius, that can be a 60th degree placement. So during this period of time, when it comes to Venus being in the 10th house, and Venus likes being in the 10th house because they're in a trine position, this could point to either difficulties with money, or it could also point to what they try and do your sixth and they try and do your second. No, this could be more difficulties with money, because Chiron is in your second house. Chiron is things you have to make up for, things you cannot account for. And with Venus being in the 10th, when it comes to career, that means difficulties with pay raises in your career, or a boss having you doing things that you cannot account for, because during the beginning of the month, Venus will be 8 degrees and Chiron will be 12 degrees. That's only 4 degrees off of orb. So that points to that day in particular, the beginning of the month, when it comes to a boss or a landlord questioning you, pushing you forward for money situations, for a situation about money or business, and because of your current situation, and apparently it could be because of what is happening at home, there's nothing you can currently do about it, or it's going to come out of nowhere and you're not going to have to make up for that. When it comes to Mercury in the 10th house, Mercury usually has a 6th to 8th house dichotomy. And 8th house, it could be you, like I said, obsessing over or working on perfecting or crafting your speech during this period of time. When it comes to your job, your ability to communicate with your boss about what is currently happening in your family situation right now, in all of the heated discussions or just fire or quick things happening out of nowhere, that is, or fires that you have to put out because of you know drug related issues or psychological problems going on at home may be able to lessen the blow that you may take during the beginning of this month. You have Pluto in your 11th. The MC could be in the 10th, 9th, or 8th during this period of time. If the MC is in the 10th, it is basically the same thing I have said or will say about Saturn. Pluto in the 11th will and should point to Pluto in the 11th will and should point to obsession or empowerment through your friends. Serious obsession or empowerment through your friends. You're going to be seriously empowered by your friends, or you may have hate, jealousy, or resentment towards friends during this period of time. Let's see what actions you're going to be scared. There might be hate or resentment or jealousy from you towards friends, or friends towards you, again, that you may not control, with Chiron being in your second house in the cardinal square from Capricorn to Aries. But Libra tends to be clear and Cancer seems to be clear. So it may not even be that, because it's not even in a direct square at the beginning of the month. I can look later in the month to tell you, but I highly doubt it would have changed. But it also points to you going to be seriously trying to empower your friends during this period of time. Saturn in the 12th. Now, you have Capricorn in the 11th, and you have Saturn in Aquarius. Saturn in Aquarius says the same thing as Capricorn in the 11th. So that points to you also, again, serious about your friends right now. This is construction, building. It points to you being regarded by your friends of a person or the friend that is an authority figure during this period right now, because of your belief system, because of your ability to heal. You're going to be regarded seriously because of your doctorate, your medication, your ability to provide healing and things of that nature as well. Now let's go to the middle of the month. During the middle of the month, Pisces, you're going to have both Venus and Mercury in your 10th house. Venus and Mercury both in your 10th house, and pointing to you being able to now having to bargain with a coworker. No, this is going to be in your 11th house. This points to you in your 11th house now having to go on trips with friends, because it always gets you every time. Hours, months, let's see, days, hours. You're going to have Venus and Mercury in your 11th house. That points to you now bargaining with friends. That also points to you Um, if not as well, bargaining with friends. It also points to you um, spending money on friends. With that being in your 11th house, you're spending money more now on friends. It points to you um, finding value in your friends. It points with Mercury's there as well. Mercury's in common affinity with the 11th house that of Capricorn. That is you um, seriously communicating with your friends during this period in time about their value systems, what they value. And look, you have during this period of time, during the middle of Sagittarius season, Venus, you're going to have Mercury in Capricorn, an earth sign, in the 11th, and Venus in Capricorn in the 11th. And you currently have in your third house, you have Uranus and Neptune in Taurus. That is another sign of common affinity because Mercury rules the third house, Uranus rules the 11th house. You have Uranus in the third and Mercury in the 11th. You have Venus in Taurus. You have Venus in Capricorn and Earth sign, and you have Uranus in Taurus, which is ruled by Venus. And people do say the North Node. People do say the North Node is ruled by Venus as well. That's a sign and placement of common affinity. So, what you can say about the third, you'll say about the 11th. This also points to you being in serious communication with friends about their values and their belief systems and things of that nature. This is about morality. This is seriously communicating about doing business with your friends, making money with your friends during this period of time, building something of value with your friends during this period of time. This is what you should be doing or seeing. This could be you and your friends, or you may find your brothers, your sisters, your cousins, your neighbors, the ones that you are being in, having friendly relationships with about business and values. And you're going to have moon in your fifth house. Moon in your fifth house. Your moon, your natural fifth house is Cancer, and you're having the moon in your fifth house. So this is going to be a very good day for your emotional state. You're going to be a very good day for your emotional state. 1626. Very good day for your emotional state during this period of time because your emotions are directly connected to your personality, how you perceive God and things of that nature as well, your spirituality. It may be a good time for if you have your daughter. If you have a daughter, this is going to be a day where you may be actively doing things with your daughter, being happy, playing, going to movies with a daughter or things of that nature because the fifth house is child and the moon points to all forms of women, so it can point to your daughter, the first child, the first daughter, things of that nature as well. Now to go to the final day. Now during the final day, wow, this is almost perfect. Minutes 4 minutes. Okay. Just to do 4 signs, it's taken me an hour. So if I were to do all 4 signs in one stream, it would take me 3 hours, if not 8, 16, about 3 hours and 24 minutes. If I factor in fatigue, it would take me about 3 hours and 45 minutes to do all 4 signs, to do all 12 signs in one stream. I hope you can see why and how complicated, and not complicated, but how in depth astrology can get you. In-depth astrology can perceive to you. In the final day, you're going to have Jupiter in your second. So now Jupiter in your second, with now Jupiter returning back to your second, that is, you can now find happiness in regards to your finances. You may find an expanse of finances during, you may be actively working towards your finances during this period of time and finding luck and success in terms of your finances, expanding your values, traveling to parties, traveling, eating a lot of food during this period of time as well, just indulging yourself, quickly eating food during this period of time. Actively going out for money and finding luck and success when it comes to this as well during this period of motion. When it comes to the moon will be in Sagittarius in your 10th house. Uh, Moon being in Sag, that is another 8th house type placement. That points to you during this period of time. You could be obsessing over your career during that period of time, emotional um, influx during this period of time as well. That has been uh, all 12 signs, the reading of all 12 signs. I'm going to put the end Sagittarius, no, Pisces, ends 1/10/30. Oh, I did 1 degree. Huh? How'd I do that? No, I thought it was a degree. It's not. Okay, this has been Chris Desir, 100 Agency. That has been my report for this end of Scorpio season and the start of all of Pisces. You probably will not see another live stream until the middle of Sagittarius, if not the very end of Sagittarius, because this is something I'm currently still doing at the side. You can find me on Facebook, but currently I don't have access to my Facebook. My email for all inquiries is my email Chris Lemiul @gmail.com. And it's been Chris is here, 100 Agency. Catch y'all next time. Catch y'all next time.